Hi, this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Thursday, May 31st, last day of the month, and this will be our chart lesson for today. And let's just see, let's back out here where you can see the big picture. We had this downtrend, then a reversal, and then an uptrend, and everything kind of worked out pretty standard. It appears that this break here was good enough. We had several closes outside of the line, so that was good enough to be a break of the trend line, and we had a couple of legs down to a new low. It was kind of hard to tell on the reversal. Normally what you're looking for is you'll get a double bottom or maybe even a double bottom and then a failed break lower. But when this thing rocketed out of here that strongly and that fast, this was news related. The odds are you're going to get another leg just like that. And you can see that leg right there, and then there's your next leg, and they're similar. Actually, this one's probably from right there. It's probably more like that right there. And then you move it up, and you can see this leg went a little bit further, and then prices tried to go higher before they finally broke. So, but when you see a leg that bullish moving up out of there, you need to be thinking we're probably going to get another leg like that. Um, but it wasn't. It wasn't clear that we may not have a trading range, and this resistance probably would have been drawn more either there or there at the time. And but either way, it's still it's two tries to go higher that made a double top when we're looking for a retest of the low, and it wasn't much of a retest, but this was. And this was very bullish coming out of here. And let me back out. We need to probably back out here now. You can see how bullish that move was. And generally, when you get a move that bullish, you're gonna get some more up movement to the upside. And we really just kind of came back here and tested the highs from across here, and you can see. And then we had the break of the trend line here, and then a move to a new high, and then of course the sell-off. And so just you gotta be drawing these trend lines. This trend line was very simple to find, and you should have had it right at there. And there was actually an entry here, but let's go ahead and talk about the trades. There was actually an entry right here. It wasn't a very good one because look at all that overlap, and you see what happened. You really had the overlap here, and it broke a little higher, and all it did was trap people and then sell off. But this was a valid entry because we got the trend line. You've got all these overlapping bars, and look at those four matching highs, and prices broke one tick higher and then turned down and closed back down here near the lows. So you could have gone short there. I didn't mark it. I didn't like it, but there was another little trap here. You had this nice little bullish bar that looked like it was going to reverse, and prices ticked one tick higher. So going short right there was okay. You figure you're probably going to come down here and test these overnight lows, but prices just rocketed on down, and you probably should have caught a runner on this, and so you could have ridden this all the way down from around 1308 to somewhere 1297, 98. Even if you got out here 13, so that's 8 to 10 points you could have made off a runner there. So, and this was not a difficult trade to find because we were kind of chopping down, and the trend was down at the time, and so if you had that trend line drawn there, you should have been able to see that, hopefully. And this is just a double top right here. At this point, you would have had it right there. But notice this two-legged pullback to the EMA that created a double top. So that's a great setup. So you go short right there. Probably no runners on that one. But it was an easy scalp, and depending on how you managed your runners. And then all this was another test of the trend line, and you can see right there. So going short, and notice too that there's a two-legged reversal. There's leg one, and then a little two-legged correction right there. First leg down, move back up. Second leg down, and then leg two. A perfect measured move. That's what you want to see. Reverses right at the trend line, so you could have gone short right there, and this is a second entry short on a bigger picture. Don't try counting all these moves here, but if you went to a slightly bigger chart, you would clearly see a one leg, a clean pull back, and then a second leg, and that's a great second entry short. Two legs back to the trend line, and you can see it was off to the races again. And runners would have been safe here again, about from 1304 or so down to about 1290 to 1300. So another 6 to 7 points, 5 to 7 points, somewhere in there. And there was a reversal pattern down here, but you know, it wasn't 100% clear if this was going to be good enough for the trend line break. So I don't recommend that anybody go and look at all those overlapping bars. And unless you were buying this low here, and you probably didn't have time to catch this move right here any other way, but prices really took off, and but the trend was down, and and because we had a double top here at this resistance area, this was a good short. Look how far away that is from the EMA, and this has been a really big move. So you're expecting prices to come back, and that's what happened. And there was actually a long here, but it wasn't a really good one, because by the time you could have got in, there was a little short trap here. Notice that prices bounced off that trend. You drew your trend line off that, then they came down and tried again. And look how bullish that is. So you could have gone long there, but I didn't mark it because it's so close to this high that it was really risky, because it still wasn't clear if maybe we might go lower. But there are good odds that we're going to get another leg up because of how strong that is. So this was really iffy, but if you took it, it wasn't necessarily a bad trade, and you see that it, you know, you were looking for probably a second leg, and we got it very easily. So if you took that, no problem. I didn't mark it because it's so close to this resistance, and it's just dangerous going along there, not knowing exactly what's going to happen. And a lot of times when you get a news event, prices will very shortly come back and go right back to where they started. It's like a reset or something. I don't really know how to describe it any other way, but you watch whenever you see a big news move event. Doesn't always happen, but probably 75 or 80% of the time, maybe even more, prices will make a huge move and the market gets all jittery, but within an hour to an hour and a half, prices are usually right back where they started, and it just kind of starts over from there. And so keep an eye out for that. And there was another entry right here. There was a double bottom. There was a trap. Prices tried to go lower again right here. So going long right there was a good trade. And that was another easy scalp. And you might have got a little more out of that on your runners if you played off that double top. Once you saw that double top, that was a good reason to exit. And then suddenly you got a triple bottom. Notice that across there. Notice that strong support. That was the first break of this trend line. So the odds are high we're going to go higher and test that. And so this is a short trap, breaking below these matching lows across here. And so going long right there is a good trade. Expecting that prices are going to come back to at least to the EMA and probably to test this high, maybe go higher. And then we pulled back and tested it again, and prices just worked on higher. And I didn't mark any of these because it's just so much overlap. It was really getting late in the day at this point. And I still wasn't convinced, to be honest. I wasn't trading by this time, but I wasn't convinced. I glanced back at my chart from time to time, and I still wasn't 100% sure that we wouldn't come back down and test these lows again. And but I mean, that's why you usually don't question or argue with the trend lines, because once you get the break, you're usually going back and retesting high, and that's what happened. And if you go back and look at this, this was obviously good enough to be a trend line break, and you got your couple of legs down. Let's just measure these and see how close they are. I would call that leg one, and then this is your correction. Let me just draw it exactly the way get it exact. So there's your leg one, and I would call this leg leg one, and then leg two. And you see when it didn't get there and it's way past this time limit right here, that is a signal that, hey, the market's stronger than expected, and then it goes higher. And you don't want to be trading off of that, but if you see the other clues in the setups, definitely keep in mind that when prices don't reach a target, that means that there's, if the target's lower, that means prices are stronger than expected. And if the trend is up like here, and you're looking for it to pull back to a certain area and it doesn't make it, then that means the market's stronger. Or if you're looking for it to go higher and it doesn't make it, let's say, I'm just looking for an example so you can understand what I'm saying. Let's say this is leg 1, and let's say leg 2, we were looking for it to get to at least here, but let's say it turned down from here. That would be a bad sign for prices going any higher, because prices couldn't get back to here, and suddenly they're going lower and we're making new lower lows. That's not a good sign. So the market's probably going, the market means the market's weak. So hopefully that made sense to you. So that was pretty much it for the day. Again, I didn't mark anything in here, and by the time this was over, by the time this last upshoot came right here, it was after 2 o'clock. This is a two-legged pullback right here, and notice how each of these pullbacks is getting a little higher, especially the closes. You can't, even the lows are a little bit higher, but the closes are definitely higher every time. That's a strong sign that the buyers are getting stronger, the sellers are getting weaker, and this is just a little two-legged pullback right here. See, notice how that went higher. Two-legged pullback. That's a little second entry long on a failed break or breakout pullback long. And so if you were trading and saw that, that was a good trade too. And you could have actually even entered right here on the breakout pullback, but that was a little more risky. You needed a second entry, and that came right here. So I didn't mark it because I don't think it's a great entry, but if you saw it and you took it, it was a good setup. It did meet our entry rules. So and there was actually a short right here too off this double top, but only because we've got this resistance across here, and we're really far away from the trend line in the EMA. So, but that's counter trend trading, so I didn't mark yet, but I'm just mentioning some of these in case some of you saw them, just so you know, because a lot of times I'll get a question later, hey, was this a good setup? So if I see one that, even if I didn't mark it, if I think it's a pretty good setup, I'll try to just mention it. Or if I think it's a bad setup, if I notice it, I'll mention that too. A couple other things. I've gotten, I'm a little behind on my email. It's been really hectic around here trying to get over the holidays, and I've got some other stuff going that just some personal things going on with one of my other businesses that has had me really distracted the last few days. I'm closing on a house that I'm selling, and that's really had me distracted, so I may not even trade tomorrow for that reason, because I have to get this house finished for this lady to close next week, first of next week, and I'm really struggling to get it done for some things that she's required me to do. So if there may not be a chart lesson tomorrow if I don't trade, if I get tied up. If I do trade, I'll try to do something, at least a brief one, and I may even do it Saturday. Even if I don't trade, I may come in and just look at, because I like to look and see what happened. I feel like I missed something if I'm not here. So if I don't do one Friday, I'll try to do one Saturday morning. A couple of other things. I'm just trying to think of a couple of emails. A lot of times it's getting easier just to talk about this in the video, but somebody asked me about live trades, and I have recorded some live trades. If you go back and look through the videos, they're there. I think put them in as trade examples, price action trade examples. There's probably, I can't tell you, I mean, I know I've probably done at least 4 or 5 to 10, somewhere in that range, maybe fewer than 10, but definitely 4 or 5, maybe even a couple more. So go look, they're there, and I'll try to do more, but the reason I don't do more of them is because when I'm trading, it's cumbersome to try to be watching the market and doing what I need to be doing and trying to set up a recording at the same time. So it interferes with my trading, and I just remind people that my number one goal here, I do the teaching and the video lessons and things like that as a sidebar, but I'm a trader, and I don't like to mess with my trading, and so I don't want to do a trading room. Most of you know that already, because when I'm trading, I want to concentrate. I want to pay attention to what I'm doing, and distractions will cause you to lose money. At least it does me. It's hard enough to trade as it is. You can't have a lot of distractions. However, having said all that, I will do some more live recordings. Usually when I do those is when I'm done real quick early in the morning and I see a nice setup and I'm not really concentrating on my trading and I'm just glancing at the chart and all of a sudden I see a beautiful setup, and that's when I'll do a recording. So when I see something like that, I will record it. And I'll try to keep my eyes peeled. When I'm done early, I'll keep watching the charts, and if I see a great setup, excuse me, I will try to record it because I know it helps to see those, and it helps to. Somebody else said something about one of the recordings they saw that I did. I was talking about what I was thinking bar by bar, and I know that is helpful to hear what I'm thinking and why I like the trade or what I'm looking for. So I'll try to do more of that. But the reason I don't do it every day is because it interferes with my trading, and that, I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's distracting, and I make my living trading, not teaching. So I don't make a lot of money doing this teaching. Um, so hopefully that makes sense to you, and hopefully you understand. But this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'm going to call it quits for the day. We're up to about 16 minutes. And just a reminder again, if you don't see a video tomorrow, I'll try to do one Saturday, and because I'm not sure I'm even going to trade tomorrow. I'm probably going to take the day off and take a long weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow or Saturday, I'll see you Monday, but hopefully I'll have a chance to do one tomorrow, if not Saturday morning. And otherwise, I'll see you Monday. And this is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. Hope you had a good trading day and a better one tomorrow. We'll see you next time.